Hey guys, this is Dave with Audio In, and today I'm going to be giving you my first impressions of the Chimera / Celest Plutus Beast. So this will not be a full review. I'm just going to take a quick listen and then give my general impressions and thoughts on the sound. But before we do, I want to do a quick unboxing, and as you know, this is not something I do for every IEM. I generally reserve this for products that I feel give a little more effort or put a little more thought into their presentation and design on their products. We have a lot to do, so let's get started. Okay, so right away, when I lifted the top of the box off, I was struck by how nice the presentation of the Plutus Beast was. And then when I pulled the IEMs out and looked at them a little closer, I could really see the attention to detail and just how nice the build of the shell and faceplate design was. And that goes for the cable and the case as well. The case is a little on the small side, but the shell of the IEM is kind of small too. And given the softness and the manageability of the cable, I don't really foresee having any issues with them fitting in the case. And speaking of the cable, it is a 2-pin cable. I got the 4.4 balanced option, but there is a 3.5 option available as well, or it will be once it's released. And in regards to the fit and comfort, again, the shell is on the smaller side, so it should fit most ears just fine. I got a great fit and great seal, and I just used the included large tips for now, and they worked pretty good. So based on this first quick listen, they fit great, they're very comfortable. Oh, and I also wanted to point out the artwork on the box. I know it's not super important. However, it is something that I pay attention to because if the box is pretty cool, sometimes I'll give it a space on my display shelf in my office/listening room. So if it looks like they took time to really think it through and put effort into making sure there is some cohesiveness throughout the design and presentation, then I want to make sure and recognize that and appreciate that. And I think they did a very, very good job kind of tying the artwork in on the package with the design on the faceplate. So whoever is behind that in the design department at Kinera or Celest, great job. Your efforts are not going unnoticed. Okay, sorry about that. I have a little bit of a design and marketing background, and I know in the retail space that can kind of sometimes go unnoticed, and I just wanted to give credit where credit was due. Okay, as for my initial sound impressions, so I listened to 3 songs: Yoshi Hirakawa's Interlude, Asia by Steely Dan, and then Structuralism by Alpha Mist. The very first things that I noticed were the very smooth treble, and there's also just a little bit of imbalance. And what I mean by that is that it has a little too much upper mid-range energy when compared to the amount of bass energy. That being said, I don't think vocals and lead instruments are too forward necessarily as far as them overpowering the bass, because the bass is definitely present, especially in the sub bass, because there is no doubt sufficient amounts of sub bass rumble. And there's also some warmth in the mid bass and low mid presentation as well, which does seem to be introducing just a little bit of incoherency, and the transition out of the bass into the mids isn't as controlled as I would like to hear. That being said, it's really not that bad, and I actually don't mind a little warmth in the IEM's overall presentation as long as it doesn't sound overly muddy. I don't think the Plutus Beast does. So while it may be lacking some clarity in its transition from the bass into the mids, I also think I kind of understand what they were going for, because what it does do is add a nice amount of weight to some of the instruments that land there, like floor toms, cellos, and then of course some of the higher bass notes on a bass guitar. And it also helps to bring a little life back into some of the older classic rock recordings. And the thing is about some of these older recordings is that at the time, the sound engineers approached bass a little more conservatively. So the bass mix was more focused around the mid bass as opposed to being sub bass focused. Again, as far as the way they mix the kicks and bass guitars. By the way, that song was originally engineered by 2 legends, Roger Nichols and I believe Elliot Shiner. And there's actually a great article about the Asia album. I'm going to find it and I'll post a link in the description. It's kind of a long read, but it's very informative and is definitely worth your time if you're into that stuff. They talk about the progression and changes in the mixes over the years as the music media evolved. Very, very interesting. And believe it or not, there have actually been 7 different masterings of Steely Dan's Asia over the years, or at least 7. In any case, depending on your library, that may be something to take into consideration with the Plutus Beast. It rendered the Asia track quite nicely, in my opinion. That album is also great for testing treble because of the way they mixed everything. And again, it seems like it's just a little shy. The Plutus Beast is just a little shy in its treble presentation, especially the upper treble. Now, I also tested for any timbre issues, and while I did notice just a little bit of unnaturalness in the highs, I think it wasn't that bad. It actually sounded quite natural overall. So initial impressions are pretty good overall, but I still have a lot of tracks I have to go through, and I also have lots of sources I want to pair it with, at which point I will go ahead and release my full review. That will most likely be on or around the date of release, which is hopefully soon. So keep an eye out for that. And again, check out the article I'm going to link about the Asia album in the description if you're interested. So that concludes my first impressions of the Kinera Celest Plutus Beast. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch. If you like my content, please take a second and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you would please like this video, please share this video. I hope you guys have an awesome day.